All right.
Hello, YouTube. Reseller Mom here with Tina. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning and happy July 1st. Oh my God. How is it already July 1st today?
I don't know, but I got to do inventory today, and I hate doing inventory.
We are already 6 months into the year, and that means Q4 is around the corner, which is very exciting, especially when we hit our summer slumps in sales.
Yep. All right, I'm just getting all the things ready here. There we go. There we go. So this is our morning Q&A, and we're trying to do Friday mornings at about 8 o'clock here. And these are all viewer questions that we have had over the last couple of weeks. It looks about 3 weeks, which is a little behind, but we're going to start diving in and have a good time this morning.
Yeah.
So a different Marcy, different than the Marcy who I do a show with, asks, I was wondering if you could explain, unless you already have a video that I missed, specifically how you scaled your business from beginning to wholesale. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cynthia. How are you? I'm good. How are you? So, do you want to? This one's I'm not really.
It's different for everybody. We all
Yeah.
have a different journey when it comes to our approach to Amazon and eBay, Etsy, just online sales in general, and starting capital, whether you're already working part-time, full-time, whether you started as a stay-at-home mom, everybody's story and journey is going to be different.
I would say that my first journey into wholesale started at ASD. So I had been doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and my intent was always to scale the wholesale because I love when something comes in and we pack 50, 100, whatever the number is, and send that in. And then I can look at the sales over a time period and say, okay, this moved 20 items, I'm going to reorder. And that's kind of how I want to do my business. Retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, it's fun, but it's exhausting going out and finding new things all the time. I mean, you have to spend a lot of time out, scanning and searching and softwares, etc. So I would say you start small and then grow it. So I started with 1 or 2 accounts from ASD, tried 1 or 2 products. You're going to fail. You're going to fail 1 or 2 products, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 throughout this journey. It's not always going to be an awesome experience. And you need to, try 3 different products out and try, quantities that are probably less than 50 of each item and see how it goes. And then the winners, you just keep replanting those. But even with those, some become losers. I've had wholesale items that have tanked over time, or now my supplier can't get it. And, that's what I was cursing up a storm yesterday, because everything I went to go replan was out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Very frustrating.
It has been very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Definitely frustrating. Cynthia is shipping time. Yeah, good. I'm glad you have some orders to ship out. Yep, and RA is exhausting. Okay, so this next one, and I just read the comments, and I'm actually going from the oldest first. If you are watching this on the replay and you've left a comment, this is about 3 weeks out, is where we're starting here. Asking a question for your next Q&A, what is a transparency-enabled 2D code? Was approved to sell an item sent in for FBA, then it was sent directly to Stranded, had to create a removal order due to not having a 2D code. The best way that I can kind of explain that one is a 2D code is something, I don't have an example laying around, but manufacturers are now starting to put 2D codes on their product, and you have to scan that, and it's for authenticity. So if you're not approved for transparency codes and don't have the transparency codes, probably not a good time. Don't pick up the item, and you may have to return it or sell it on eBay if you do wind up getting one of those products. There's more in-depth out on Google that you can read into it, how to make them, how to attach them to the product, etc. But it's just an up in authenticity. And I don't really source or do anything with it. I haven't gotten into that. I don't private label any items that would need that authenticity code or transparency code, but you will start to notice it on toys. I've started to notice it if you go pick up some expensive games or things like that and you look at the back, there's 2D codes now starting to show up.
And with those 2D codes, if you're going to send this item in, should you avoid putting your FNSKU label over those because you want them to be visible at Amazon, or do you need to have prior authorization to even sell items that have these?
Yeah, if it requires authorization, you have to upload a picture of the 2D code or something. I can't
So,
remember what it says.
yeah, because I did read some on it, and it is a little confusing, and I've noticed some people getting hit with this. So if you have an item with that on it, and before you send it in, then I would think that you should take a picture of it just so you have it, because once you've sent it in, you don't have it anymore to take this picture. And you could take a picture of it and make sure you don't cover it with your label. But I don't know if you need already prior authorization to even sell these things.
Hold on, I can share my screen. And I can pop this down in the link section. How will you know if the 2D code is required? It's like hazard or something. It pops up as like a little warning label. So here's the requirements. Some manufacturers now label with 2D codes to track their inventory, ensure authenticity. They need to be appropriately labeled. This is what they look like. It's the little square. I call it a board-looking square.
I call those a QR code because that's what it looks like.
It does look like a QR code. And I don't, maybe a QR code is a 2D barcode. I'm not quite familiar with all the lingo.
And that answers my question right there. You're definitely going to want to put your label next to it. You don't want to cover it.
Mm-hmm. So you can have it scanned any which way here. Yeah. Okay. So QR code, Aztec code, UPC code. So I guess QR codes are different than transparency codes, but
they look similar.
So there's the link there if you want to go ahead and investigate more into that. But like I said, 9 times out of 10, the items that require this are going to be very specific things that you will probably not be sourcing. Recently got ungated for Starbucks using Amazon. Super cheap, found instant coffee. That's great. Good job. If you're not familiar with that, you can get ungated with things from Amazon by Amazon. It's a very specific way you need to do it. I do have a video out on it, but basically you need an Amazon business account, not Prime, and you can purchase items to get ungated with from Amazon and use the, it's not called an invoice, but it's called like an order summary or something to then get your ungate done. And you can do it for Starbucks. For Squishmallows, they asked on my invoice, did you submit that receipt even though it says unfulfilled? Yes. I have a video out called How I Got Ungated with Squishmallows and the place I bought it from is Toynk. And yes, the piece of paper I had did say that it was not fulfilled yet, and I was ungated using that. You got ungated them too, right?
I did, but I was denied, I think twice. It was my third try that I got approved. I don't recall all of the reasons why they didn't like it, but I remember I had you help me annotate the invoice. But I wish I could remember the exact details of what they didn't like on mine. I think there were 2 different ways you could download it. Like you could download it from your email and you could download it from their website.
You have to do it from their website.
And the other. Yeah. And so I believe the reason why I got denied the first time is I did the email one. I also was concerned about it saying unfulfilled. And I thought maybe that's why Amazon had denied it, because it showed like I bought for something, but it hasn't been fulfilled. So then I waited till it was actually delivered, because I thought, well, if they're tracking or whatever, they'll see that it actually was delivered. And then I went a step further and showed them my bank statement transaction showing that it had come out of my bank account that I use for my Amazon business account to show
Mhm.
that I did pay for this item. So I remember I had a little bit of trouble, but it did work. But it took me a couple times of submitting.
Yeah. And it may, it just depends on what rep you get. Keep making adjustments as they want and tweaking it until you get approved. But it should eventually go through. Somebody says I have a scanner just like it. Mine is cream colored. Use it to upload receipts. So I'm not sure what they were talking about, but it was on a Q&A from a couple of weeks ago that we did.
It
And
might be I shared a scanner that I have for
Mhm.
uploading receipts and
That's what.
scanning documents. And I love this thing. It's so inexpensive because my printer is just a printer. I have a laser printer for doing my Amazon shipments and labels. And because the ink toner cartridge thing in it lasts me a year, and so
Nice.
I don't have the printer scanner fax, that type of printing machine. So I bought an individual scanner and it's fantastic.
Nice. I do mine the old-fashioned way, and I put my receipts in an envelope. It is highly. Let's see here. This is my way. I'm very old
I
school.
still do a file of, I keep them. I keep all my paper receipts,
Hmm.
and they do go in a monthly file folder. I have a file cabinet with the hanging file folders.
Hmm.
So my first three quarter, or for three quarter, the first quarter file folders are like yellow. The next quarter are all blue ones, to keep them organized, and they're by month also. But then I additionally scan them. For my bookkeeper, and so they're held in HubDoc, which is nice because when I used to only do it that way, the paper
Hmm.
method way, and you got hit with that counterfeit complaint, you had to appeal it, and you had to show your invoice, your receipt, the whole thing. Then I was fumbling through there like, did I buy that in May, June? And you're going through all these receipts. Well, when I go into my HubDoc account, I can type in, Target or and in um, you can type in sometimes the item and it will help just pull that receipt. So it is a little bit quicker to search for it as well.
See, and okay, so I weighed doing it, scanning versus paper, and I have never had it be more than 15 minutes to pull a receipt, no matter when.
Yeah.
I've had to pull receipts 8 months old, and it's been less than 15 minutes for me to go to Inventory Lab, see the month that I sent it in, roughly. Sometimes it's within a couple of weeks. Go to that paper folder, pull out my receipts, find the store, and find the item.
If you filed it in June, maybe you bought it at the end of May, but you didn't get around till June and put it in your June envelope because that's what I do.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even if I had to go through 2 envelopes, it's less than 15 minutes. And I feel that I would spend more than 15 minutes a month scanning documents. And I have to pull a receipt maybe twice a year.
Yeah, and for HubDoc, and I'm not trying to sell you on. I'm just saying what I do for
Mhm.
HubDoc. I don't actually have to scan my receipts. I take a photo with my phone. I just photograph it and it uploads it just like that. Um, and do that at the end of the week when I'm doing paperwork. The same as like at the same time when you're scanning it for your fetch rewards and the other things. I
Mhm.
just take the HubDoc picture too.
How much does HubDoc cost?
It is somehow incorporated with my Zero bookkeeping system that I use. I know you use QuickBooks, so I don't know if HubDoc is compatible with it or not.
No, I know you can use QuickBooks to upload receipts too, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I need less stuff to do.
Yes.
Good morning, Nick. And Sheila wants to know the name of the scanner.
My scanner, I'll be right back because it's right over here.
uh, FOABP132. Seller bench questions. Signed up back in March and was great. However, no claims, and the case manager hasn't reviewed my account in over a month. Contacted them. Is this typical? No, it's not typical. You need to reach out. Let me see if I can find my guy's number. Oh, hold on. Okay, support at sellerbench.com. That's who you need to reach out to. I don't have his personal email. I thought I might, but I'll send it over to you. Email that support at sellerbench and tell them exactly that and see what the heck's going on. Because, yeah, you want to be on top of that. And there might be a reason, I don't know, but definitely something you'll want to bring to their attention. Okay, Tina, let's see the
Yeah.
scanner.
This scanner I bought used off of eBay, and this is a little Epson scanner. It's this little portable scanner, and so this plugs into my computer, and your little screen pops up, and whether it's a full-size paper receipt, whatever you want to scan in here, it just feeds right through here, and then it saves as a file on my computer. So then from there you can put it wherever you want.
Nice.
Love it. Super, super lightweight. You could pack it in a suitcase. I mean, it's great. I love it. And there's no service fee to use it. Love it. Because the one I had before this, it was a scanner. I can't recall the name. And it cost a yearly fee to use it. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I didn't realize that when I had bought it. And this does the exact same thing with no annual fee. I love the thing.
They are coming out with some neat stuff. We were reading an article yesterday on the news show about robots that are coming out and robots that could possibly do your dishes. I'm super excited about that one.
Dishes, laundry, bathroom.
If you could fold laundry, I would get a robot in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because I always wanted, what's her name, Rosie off the Jetsons. I was a grown up. I was going to have a Rosie robot, and then I also digged the in the morning where George or Jane would go on that conveyor belt, and like it would fix her hair and put on all her makeup, and the razor would drop down and shave his face, and it's like, man, love it.
Yep, can't wait for that. All right, so let's see here. We got an inventory. I haven't pre-read this one, so let me try here. If don't mind, I have an inventory lab process question. I followed you until it sounded like you generated the label by scanning the game, pretending it went into a box. One, and then you actually did it when packing. Two, my two questions. Okay. To do that, did you somehow cancel the first placement, then have multiple boxes? And why not just generate the label as you play Tetris? Okay, I understand what you're asking. Though it may not have read really quick. When you're doing a scan to pack, you could either have all your items labeled previously, and then as you scan them, it just assigns it to a box, or as you're scanning them into the box, have it print a label right then and then label it and put it in the box. I have done both. Both ways work. Both ways are good. And it just kind of depends on the item and what flow works better for what you're doing at the time. So sometimes we're packing things up and we can pack it up now, but we're going to ship it out tomorrow. So sometimes it's labeled now. Sometimes it's easier when I'm putting it into the actual batch just to label it right then and there. It's a preference thing. It's not really there's not one way is better than the other. It's just however you want to do it. I hope that makes sense. Do you do scan and pack?
I tried it a couple of times and I couldn't figure it out and I didn't like it. And so, no, I don't do it that way at all. I couldn't even give you a tip on how to do it that way.
Once I learned how to scan and pack, that was amazing. So right now, like out in the office, my peeps have a bunch of stuff, and then they get a big box out and then they just start packing it up. And if you scan to pack, you can then say, okay, I'm going to put the heavy things at the bottom and just keep adding as it fills up. And as long as they don't go over 50 pounds, which we all kind of can feel a box by now and tell if it's getting close or not, it just really helps pack. And then that way you're not, the old way was they would try to write on the lid, like there's 12 of this and 6 of this and 2 of this, and then go enter that into the computer, and scan to pack is much better. Although I think, yeah.
I remember I couldn't name the boxes. I like to name my boxes. If it's one shipment and let's say it's 200 items and it's all going to one warehouse and it's obviously not all going to fit in one box. It might be 2 boxes, it might be 3 boxes. When I'm doing mine, I like to label mine box 1, 2, and 3. So I know what's in 1, 2. And I remember, now this is a few years ago when I tried to do this way that you do, it assigned it these weird names. It's like I wanted to name it. And it was like FBA 1238574. It was like some weird long, and it's like I wanted to control the names of my boxes. And I don't know, when you come out here, you'll have to show me how you do it that way, because I could not stand it. Couldn't stand it. And so maybe I need to revisit it.
Yes, you do, because the boxes, they name it 1, 2, 3. It just might be FBA 000 something 1. But the ending is box 1, box 2, box 3. So that's what we do. And then we have to write on the outside, because if you've ever packed up boxes and then not labeled them and they're all the same size and they get Jenga, they move around. Yeah, that can be difficult. Speaking of visiting, I just wanted to say out there for other people, when and if I do visit and go to your house, I'll probably need to remember to leave my phone at my mother's house so that I don't ping your IP address. I'm just thinking about that. Tamra says, hello, ladies. What reports do you check daily, weekly, monthly, besides profit and loss?
I don't check any reports daily, to be honest with you. I do check some reports weekly and some monthly. Weekly, I check not Amazon reports, but inventory lab sales. I check that weekly to stay on top of what is selling well, what isn't moving at all, and to make sure I stay on top of what I am going to reorder. And then weekly, I run my numbers in Amazon as well as Inventory Lab, how many items I've sent in for the week, my batch totals, what I spent on that, what my Inventory Lab product value is. Monthly, I do my numbers for how many units moved that month. What else? I'm starting to lose track in my head. I do this with Lucy, so I know that she knows because we do this together.
Yes, this is going to be our meeting after this one. But we go through, and from our batches sent in, we look at the total sales value, the total buy cost, the total profit estimation, and then how much did we spend, and was that spent on inventory or overhead? So pretty much everything that's not inventory, our subscriptions, like I bought toilet paper and paper towels this week, bags, etc. And then I put in my labor, because I want to know if they packed out 500 items and I paid X amount, what is that per item? Because if you're looking at having staff versus a third party packing place, you need to know those numbers. And then we look at all of our cash flow, which is our Amazon payments coming in, our bills going out, how, what we spent, and then our inventory valuation. So at the end of the day, we're always trying to up our inventory value at the warehouse, right? Especially going into Q4. You want to get as much to the warehouse as possible. As far as other reports, I look at like sales. This week, I pulled several of ASIN profitability reports, and then I sort them, and I tend to sort them by ROI, and then I will take out anything that's less than a 20% ROI, and I sort them by store. So if I know that I want to look at my replens for IKEA, I'm going to look at my IKEA replens. I'm going to sort it by best ROI. I'm going to basically delete anything out that's less than 20%. It's tanked down. I just want to get rid of it. Move on to other replens, and pretty much get myself a buy list on what do I need to go replen. If I have
that to sort by, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's like I definitely like to sort that by ROI, because sometimes, and this is just an important point to bring up, let's say for instance you bought 1 or 2 test buys. If you're looking at like IKEA and I sold 50 spoons, but I only sold 1 napkin, and that napkin of course is going to show up at the bottom of that report if you're doing it by units. If you
By
did it
unit,
by
yeah,
ROI, like how you're saying, and you only bought one of the napkin and its ROI was 300% and it sold quickly, um, then and it was your test buy, then you know you want to buy more. And
exactly.
at one time I wasn't doing that. It's like I was only looking at how many units sold and I realized I was missing other opportunities.
Very true. Very true. Yep. So yeah, and then I look at how many sold and how many is on hand. So if I sold 10 and I have 5 on hand, I obviously want to restock it. If I sold 10 but I have 50 on hand, not going to restock it. So that's where I'm pulling for purchasing this week on what stores I need to do. And I'm still trying to get like a good flow on that in general because
Mhm.
it's not as fine-tuned as I would
One
like.
other report I like to run weekly, sometimes I forget, but I'll run it weekly and then sometimes at the end of the month to get the big picture is
Mhm.
my Amazon FBA return report.
Mm,
Because I want to see the reasons these items got returned. Um, were they coffee mugs that are being returned because they're continually being broken? Because I need to know, do I need to pack them better? If this is something that's coming up, or um, I just want to make sure that it's just random returns. Not that I want to make sure I'm not pinpointing a problem, because if I have a problem item, I want to get it pulled out of Amazon.
right. There we go. Um, can you mix? So I'm Googling this next one because I'm not uh, super familiar and I don't think you're going to get, yeah. This next question has to do with hazmat items and it says, can you mix items, for example, hairspray or body spray and hair dye? And I'm going to say that's going to be dependent on what the chemical composition is because you don't want to mix chemicals that are incompatible in the same box. Now, I don't know if Amazon's system is good enough to know which ones not to mix, or you need to go look up those compositions and make sure they're not in the same, that they're compatible together. When I worked in the lab, we had to store our acids different than our bases, neutrals in a different cabinet. You couldn't mix them up. So it's going to be dependent on that. Now, if you're doing one hairspray and a different hairspray and everything is, kind of in the hairspray realm, you're probably okay. But you're going to want to definitely do some more research on that one.
And since
And if
hazmat are expensive, it seems to me when I have done hazmat shipments, and I don't do them a lot, I want to have a whole bunch of it to make that shipment make sense.
mhm, yeah, I'm waiting on that. I got a table full right now. If you are in question about hazmat, you can call the UPS hazmat hotline and they will ask you what it is and walk you through how to do that. They're very good, very supportive. They were actually one of the better people to call in terms of calling things.
Mhm.
And they're pretty good, but you are going to have those items in front of you and know why they are deemed hazardous. Nick says, I know you're very busy. I have a problem with adding shoe sizes to an existing ASIN. I have tried everything, still can't figure out. Please create a video on that. Are you using the variation wizard, Nick? That's the question right there.
Yeah.
You have to do it through the variation wizard, and you may have to call and have them help you with it because I've had a lot of problems getting some things merged together.
And sometimes the listing, because I'm pretty good at Variation Wizard and doing that, but sometimes I found in the past, once you look into Variation Wizard, for whatever reason, even if you put in that UPC, if you type in size and it pulls up like it just has never even existed, I'll go in Variation Wizard and start looking through, like let's say it's a size 8 and the color is ivory. And sure enough, if it isn't back there it's already in there. And so the ASIN is already hidden in there. It's just, I think it's been out of stock so long that it just doesn't populate anymore. So sometimes you can find it buried in Variation Wizard.
Mhm. The other thing I'll say with the variation wizard is you can try to add it with that, and then you download the flat file, and then you submit the flat file and you'll get a batch feed back. And with the batch feed, sometimes it will tell you it goes through or it doesn't go through. Sometimes it really does go through. And from that batch feed, that's where you will submit a case and saying, I'm having issues with batch feed 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you give me a hand here? Sheila says, going back to replens and using Inventory Lab, at what point in the process do you assign hashtag replen and hashtag store name?
I don't know what that means.
Me neither. Could you please elaborate on that, Sheila? Because it's we have a spreadsheet that we have replens on, but we also have I don't know, I just know that it's a replen because we've been selling it for so long. I have it on Amazon wish list. I have things on that as well. Oh, when do you tell Inventory Lab the item is a replen? Usually after I've replened it a couple times. I'd say 2 or 3 times. What about you, Tina? Do you use
No, I tried that feature once and I found it a little bit confusing. But what I do is I tell Amazon it's a replen. So in my Amazon seller account where my inventory is currently listed, to the far off right where there is that edit button, you can click that and there's a drop down menu and you can assign a replen like notification bell. I'm going off the top of my memory, and I did make a video about this. Not without looking at it, I'm going off that's how I tell it. And then you can tell it by how many weeks you want Amazon to notify you, or when your item amount reaches like 3 in stock or 6 in stock. And you will have this notification bell on there, and it will be green when it's in good standing, yellow when it's at that warning level, and it turns red when you're out of stock. And Amazon will send you an email to the email account assigned to your Amazon seller account that, basically, heads up, ASIN 1234, it's time to replenish it. They actually email you and let you know.
Now, do you think Amazon is more accurate or Inventory Lab is more accurate from what other people have said out there?
Well, when I tried Inventory Lab, I never really got much of notices. Like I said, I didn't use it long enough. I had already been using this system in Amazon, and I love it using it in Amazon, and I'm happy with using it in that format.
I have tried to be using the Inventory Lab one, and it's a bit, I don't know. I'm not feeling it, if you know what I mean. But I'm trying.
Do you use the notification bell system in Amazon?
No, because I was trying to use the Inventory Lab one so I could pull what inventory to replen, but it's just kind of cumbersome to try and get using. Nick says he is using the wizard. Yeah, you're going to want to go download the batch, upload the batch, have a batch number, see what the errors have, and then
Right.
go
And
from there.
sometimes you can add it in Variation Wizard, and I made a video on doing that too.
Well, I'm saying from Variation Wizard, you can also download the file and then do it a manual upload. Somebody asks, for a single beverage items, can you shrink wrap them and label them and send them to Amazon FBA, or would they require a poly bag? I think technically you can, but I think it looks janky. So, and it's harder. I mean, honestly, for me to shrink wrap something.
We've shrink some items without bagging it, depending on what size it was.
Yeah.
And then we just put the label on, our FNSKU label on our shrink wrap. In fact, we just did some this week. And so here's my roll of shrink wrap that we get at Sam's Club. We roll it, and it looks really nice and neat.
Yeah. So you can, but make sure the presentation isn't.
Yeah.
I've received some things. So, this one was a good story. I don't have the item here. I took it home. But there is a shaving gel that I like that comes in like a cream tube looking thing. Anyhow, I bought a 2-pack this time from Amazon for my personal use because it's the same price as going to the store and getting it. So I was like, well, whatever. Anyhow, they took two of these, and it's clearly a retail arbitrage find for them. I can't find it for that cheap, but whatever. Anyhow, they took two, they put it in a Walmart bread bag. They tied it with a bread bag thing at the top. It was one of those like the pieces of tape that go around and tape together. And then they put a warning sticker. I actually have those warning stickers on the bag. And then they put a rubber band around it. I'm like, that was the most jankiest. I'm like, oh, they must be new. They must just be starting off because that looks horrible. Just terrible. Anyhow, I'm not going to complain. They're not doing anything wrong. It just doesn't look very good. Let's see here. I was able to schedule 10 plus boxes pick up for $3.60, which is less than a gallon of gas. Oh yeah, they're using Pirate Ship to pick up. If you're not using Pirate Ship to pick up your FBA boxes, you're losing money because it's $3.60 to pick up your stuff. I don't know about you, but it takes me at least a half an hour to go run boxes to the post. Plus, there's lifting them into the car, taking them out.
Yeah.
So Pirate Ship is awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Concord Wholesale requires an MOQ of 500 when purchasing as a business. Okay, it's not a question, but good to know. May I ask if you can make a video about adding shoe size? Oh, that's you, Nick. I've gotten to your question. Hopefully we have asked it now or answered it. Were you saying that TOYNK ungates? Do you also have a bundling video? All bundles need a G10 or their own barcode. I'd love a bundling, but not sure how to get the ASINs. Have a great day. So yes, TOYNK will ungate you for Squishmallows, first part of that. And then for a bundling video, Tina and I are working on some of those, and they will be coming out probably next month, I would hope. Mm-hmm. I'd like to get something out before ASD, before the end of the month. What do you think, Tina?
Yeah. And I've thought about even, as somebody had mentioned about doing, walking the floor at ASD with us, doing something like that. And, that's something that could be done as well.
We could do that too. I've already bought two items to bundle together for our example.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI. So, could you do a video on validating? I was wondering if you could make a video on selling on eBay, Mercari, and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, we can. And validating your purchase or validating a wholesale?
I think she means validating the idea, because I mentioned about that last week when we were talking how once I find a wholesale supplier and I'm looking at the other stuff that they have, not the thing that I bought from them that I wanted, but now all the other stuff that I have access to, how do I validate if it would be a good seller or not on Amazon, especially if it doesn't exist on Amazon already, or if I want to maybe bundle the items, but individually they're not profitable. And how do I validate what I would bundle or what would sell? I think possibly they could be talking about that.
Yes, I think they are, because it's on that video. Let's see here. Mari asked, do these wholesalers issue invoices for ungating products on Amazon?
Yes. Because you're buying from a wholesaler. So wholesalers, you always get an invoice. Every time you get an invoice.
Yes, and any valid invoice can be used for ungating if you're buying the product you need to ungate for. You got to line it up, though. Yeah. Like, you can't just have random invoices. You got to have it be for the product you're trying to get undone. And there are different things to get ungated for. There's categories, subcategories, brands, and then down even to ASIN level to get ungated for. So it doesn't matter if you're gated in, or how do I put this? It doesn't matter if you get ungated for L'Oreal if you're gated in beauty. You have to get ungated for beauty first, then get ungated for L'Oreal. I'm just making that up. I don't know if L'Oreal requires an ungate these days. If you find this is a good question. If you find a bundle and also find all of the components, can you list on another seller's bundle, or should you create your own listing?
Yes, and no. We have a bundle of, got my little supply box here, what we used for, let's say we have a bundle, none of these things make sense. With a Scotty Pillar, a Crayola marker, and this highlighter. And you have found this exact items. But the person who created this bundle has it listed as generic or whatever. Can you sell it? Yeah. If the person has their own branded twist tie that is, brand XYZ, and the store seller is XYZ, now you cannot sell on this bundle. Chances are they are brand registered, and this little obscure thing is theirs. And that's what now makes it a bundle that you cannot jump on. Does that weird scenario make sense?
But I do want to caveat that if you find all three of those items, and we'll say the twist tie is not involved in this one, can you jump on their listing? Yes. Will it piss them off and probably not result in good things for you? Absolutely, because you're jumping on something that somebody else has worked hard for, and they're going to get pissed off at you and try to make things hard. So can you go into the grocery store and punch somebody in the face? Yeah. Is there going to be repercussions for it? Absolutely. It's are you going to get punched back? I don't know. So
there are some very basic listings on Amazon, like 2 boxes of cake mix that are Duncan Hines, and there's 15 sellers on it. Oh, yes. Well,
Exactly. If the only seller on there is just one and they're selling it and it's pretty hard to get, I would stay away from it and not poke that bear. Let's see. Going up. How to open this eligibility? Oh, I don't know. This person is asking for small and light and how to get in the small and light program.
Anybody can get in the small.
Yeah, I don't think you have to get into the program. Is it an invitation?
No, it's not an invitation. Just when you're in your Amazon seller account, on the little help bar, type in, small and light, possibly program, and on the help bar on the side, you will eventually find the link to register your items that qualify.
Yeah. And I have just a bookmark set of my Amazon go-to links. And one of them is GTIN exempt application. And one is the small and light program, because I frequent those all the time. So I just have them bookmarked. But if you don't have them bookmarked, go find them and then bookmark them.
Yeah.
When you ladies started talking about Q4, I suddenly felt behind this year on Q4, and I haven't recovered from last Q4. You and me both. Lillian.
Same way.
Lolo says, I've had 2 games that I was selling. Amazon was on the listing for months and never shared the buy box. Once they sold out, and other sellers, I'm sure, I got an email that said I needed compliance documents.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I am so sorry. I guess that it's okay that Amazon sells possibly dangerous and unsafe products for hundreds of kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
You got to understand that Amazon does whatever Amazon wants, and Amazon makes the rules. Hence, that's why they're in court quite a bit.
And why Jeff Bezos can shut down rides at Disneyland so he can ride them all by himself.
What? He did that?
Mm-hmm. Recently he and his girlfriend were at Disneyland, and he wanted to, they rode some different rides, and they shut down that ride so just he could ride on it. And so everybody else that had been waiting in line for hours, as you do at Disneyland, had to wait additionally just for him to get to ride the ride. As if he were the president of the United States.
I don't even know if they'd do that for the president, but I guess if you have oodles of money, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope he paid. I hope he paid, and I hope it went to like Children's Leukemia Foundation or something.
Right.
I hope he paid oodles. and oodles for that. That would make me feel better. I don't know. Recently got invited to the hazmat program, but haven't sourced any products. Oh, thank you. No question there. You can order UPS boxes off their website after you log in. I use them all the time. Yep. If you're not familiar with the free boxes, you go to shipping supplies, go all the way down to the bottom of the box page, and you will see it says, I had this up yesterday, but you will see it says, the picture does not line up with the words, but the words say something like blank security box.
The words line up. The words say the right thing.
Yeah, the words say the right thing. The picture is not of a blank box, but that's what
I put really detailed instructions in one of the threads on Facebook about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you can get free boxes, which is good.
Free, your favorite.
All right. Last comment. We'll see if it's a question, but I think it's just a comment. I find if I unload my reusable bags, bag them together, and then take them to my car immediately or put them in my purse so that I visually see them when I'm headed out. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
My problem is I have my car and it will be fine for sourcing. And then we do something like we moved into the office or we took a road trip or, we do something else and I clear my car out. And then I don't have my reusable bags in there. And so I need to go do that maybe after we stop filming.
Now, not all states require you to use them. And I know some do. California's big on it. Here,
sure. I mean, it's good for the environment.
Are you required to use reusable bags in your state? Like when you go to the grocery store?
No, it just costs 8 cents a bag if you don't.
Really? See, here that's not the case. They don't do that.
Yeah, they will. I mean,
they will eventually.
If the stores can charge for bags, they'll charge. I mean, if the stores can make you check out yourself and charge you for it, they'll do it because
I'm not a fan of self-checkout.
I know. I debate on that one because sometimes I don't want to talk to people. And then it pisses me off because people will come over and talk to me. Are you doing this okay, ma'am? Yeah, I came over here so that I wouldn't talk to you because I'm in a bad mood. Leave me alone.
I still always laugh about that because I'm always the obvious. I want everyone to talk to me. I don't want to do self-checkout. I want the cashier. I don't want to have to do their job. I don't like it. I hate self-checkout. And then I'm the person that needs the self-checkout attendant to help me. So
I do. Yeah. The stores, the whole idea with the self-checkout was to streamline things and to make things cheaper. It didn't do either of that. It did not do either of that. It saved them money, probably.
If people see us at ASD, those that are in our group and know us, does that mean they should avoid you and approach me? Like, hey, Tina, should I
like people on a one-on-one. It's exhausting talking to the vendors there because it's the same story. Hi, I sell on Amazon. Do you sell on Amazon? What do you got? What's your MOQ?
I know. I already know that drill with you. I know I do the talking and you walk around and look at the stuff.
That's why I love you.
I'm saying for people that watch on YouTube or that are in our Facebook group, should they be scared of you?
No. I like people that we talk to. I get approached by randos and weirdos constantly.
And it's how it has to be the weirdo, huh? Not the normal, nice person.
Well, people that think I want to talk to them. And it's like, what part of my face did it say that I really wanted to have a conversation with you? I don't. I want to get my coffee and go or wherever I'm at. I mean, it's just weird where people, I went and picked up, I think I told you this one, when my friend moved to Vegas and I went and picked up her mail at the house. 20 minutes in, this lady's telling me about her cancer procedure, her job, her everything. And I'm like, girl, I just wanted the mail. Like, I came to pick up the mail, do a little bit of small talk. I wanted to go.
Maybe you should get those like temporary tattoos so you look like the younger rap guys that have like the tattoos all on their face. So you look more scary and or do like the prison teardrop tattoos all the way down. Maybe that'll help.
I mean, it's fine. I don't know. People want to talk to me I was so mad. We had the garage sale this last weekend and my crazy neighbor came over and she bought a lot of stuff, but she kept talking to me like well over a half an hour. My husband came out there and he was like, with the other way. I'm like, you left me with her. She's nuts. I don't want to be out here with her talking. And she just kept going on and on and on and on. And there's a whole bunch of, I could spend days talking about my crazy neighbors, everything from the pot houses and the drug busts to, I got one on one side that works constantly outside. So he'll be out like sawing at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, dude, go to bed. It's 10 o'clock at night, but making all sorts of noise, pissing off my dogs. And then the crazy lady next door, she just does a lot of weird things. She's, and now, like, I thought she hated me for years, and now she talks to me like I'm her best friend and chit-chatting with me, and I'm like, I don't like you. Please go
Oh,
away.
no.
But she bought like $30 worth of crap at the garage sale, so
So you like
anyhow,
her.
she really wants to be my friend, and I'm like, I don't want to be your friend. Sheila says, I started wearing purple shade of lipstick. It reminds me to smile.
I love
Very
her.
nice. Very nice. I don't think I could pull off purple. I think I would look. I wish I could. I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. But I'm lazy. Very lazy in that department. Yeah, my name. So yeah. Anyhow, I don't want to say too much on screen because it gets into some really bad stuff on my neighbors and legal stuff. Yes, I've been called to court for my neighbors. It's
Yeah. Moving on.
yeah. Move on. My neighborhood, it's fun. It's fun. Anyhow, I don't have any other questions on mine. Did you have any questions from the groups?
In the groups, no, we haven't had a lot of questions in the group. There were a few which have already been answered, and I think that wraps it up.
Yay.
Unless anyone watching live has any more questions, which I don't think so. It looks like you all have asked.
Good. Hello, Raquel. I'm glad you're here too. You're catching the end of it though. So if you have any questions, you'll have to ask and we will get to the next one. I'm trying to make sure that we had a troll in here and I'm trying to get him all out, but it looks like it didn't all go out. So I apologize if you're seeing that.
Yeah, I deleted them and blocked, so then everything they posted after that wouldn't go through. But the above ones, I can't get rid of either.
Yeah, and I don't know why people have so much time on their hands. What they're doing.
Well, everybody, you have a great 4th of July coming up.
Cynthia asks, would you consider a consultation calls for helping with wholesale part? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can message Tina or I, and we do consultation things. In fact, we're supposed to be getting our Fiverr thing done this week, Tina. That was on our list to do.
Yes. And Raquel says, how do you set up shipping charges for merchant fulfilled? That's a really good question. And yeah, the over and under charge, because I've done both. I've actually gotten in trouble for overcharging from Amazon, yet it really wasn't enough still to pay for the shipping label, which blew my mind. And I have undercharged where I've lost money. And so trying to perfect that can be a challenge. I'll have to go in my shipping settings to see what my exact ones are for merchant fulfilled. But I know one way that you can research that is, depending where you live, you can go on the post office's website and plug in, say, you can Google a shipping address. For instance, I live in Nevada. So I would take a shipping address that I might find online for a business that is in New York City, because that's going to be the most expensive postage for me. And you can see what that would cost you for, a 1 pound or a 2 pound box, dimensions, just to get a general rule of thumb, what you're going to be paying for shipping, and use that to be your shipping rate. You can also just use flat rate shipping boxes with USPS, and on their website, it will tell you what those rates are. And when you know about how much your item weighs and what box you would have to put it in, you can set it up that way. That's just off the top of my head, the advice I could give you to look up.
These real briefly is these are my shipping settings. And for my templates, I have this one called Migrated Template, which I think was a default of Amazon name. Then I have a free shipping US template, and I have a priority 8.75 because I need to adjust that because didn't priority shipping go up this year?
Yes.
Anyhow, this is the settings for my basic one that goes on. And let's see here. You can see which ones I do right here. And I upped them this year because of the shipping charges to $4.99 per order and then an extra $4.99 per pound. And I do have APOs and Hawaii, Alaska, but I took out Puerto Rico and Guam
Yeah.
because you could get in trouble with that, and I didn't want to deal with that. But yeah, you kind of got to see what your product is and then assign the best shipping to it.
Yeah.
Is there still an issue with inventory lab fees? Probably because there's been issues every freaking day this week with inventory lab fees.
Weird stuff. Yeah.
How does the ungated work on Kohl's? You can't. Kohl's does not issue an invoice, so you cannot get ungated with Kohl's stuff. So you don't get ungated with Kohl's. I have heard, yeah, you'd need to get ungated somewhere else, and then you can buy at Kohl's and sell the brands. But be aware, there's some brands that are better and worse than others. What are the consequences if you don't adjust the shipping templates? Well, you could lose money or you could get a little extra money. So let's say we'll take my priority mail 8.75 shipping template. That is for something that would fit in a padded flat rate mailer. So during the holidays, that would be like a 3-pack of chocolates that somebody's going to order for Christmas, right? So I know that 3 packs of chocolates fit in that 8.75, right? Well, now what if somebody orders 10 of them? Well, 10 of them, 10 3-packs aren't going to fit in a padded. And so now I'm going to have to pay more in shipping, but I'm only charging the customer 8.75 to ship it. So they're getting a great deal. And now I'm getting hosed on shipping. So if you have that kind of scenario, you're going to want to limit the quantity that your customer can buy on that product to 1. If you have it weight-based and somebody orders 3 bags of chocolates and it's weight-based, it's going to be $4.99 plus each pound, which might be 2 pounds. So they're going to pay around $10, right? But if they order 10 packs, it's going to get that weight up and then charge accordingly. So definitely need to understand the ins and outs of all of that and what your product is. I've gotten hosed because I was like, oh, I'll put a flat rate on here. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get 20 of these. And I'm like, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. You receive a lot of emails saying you need adjusting.
Well, then you need to adjust it. And I don't know if they're saying that you're overcharging or undercharging, why they need you to adjust it. But yeah, I would go in there and work through those settings. I personally don't have a YouTube video walking you through it, but you certainly can search on YouTube. I know people have to have videos on how to set your shipping templates in Amazon.
I know I have a video on how to do your shipping templates. Yeah. But as far as them needing adjusting, I'm not sure. And you can always call Account Health or call Amazon and ask them what exactly is going on in the system. Does this mean you have a template for each ASIN? No, I just have a variety of I have 3. That's my variety of templates. And I typically stick with the weight and dimension base one, especially during Q4. But if I do I have the other ones there. Like I did the free shipping one just recently because I want to offer free shipping on some smaller items that it's not going to be very expensive. And I'm just trying to move. So some people have more than 3. I find that I use one for 99% of my items. And that's the weight-based one that I just showed you. So I hope that helps. All right. I think that is about it. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, everybody. I hope you have learned something. Don't forget to hit that like button. And Tina, did you put a link to your YouTube in the description?
Not today, because today I had to whip this out in like 2 clock minutes. So
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to find Tina's channel real quick because you need to go subscribe to her. And if you haven't, you need to go do that because she's trying to get to, what is it, 1,000?
yes, you have to get
1,000
to
is the
1,000 subscribers.
There we go. Putting it in there, and then I don't know if I can add it to the settings. I don't know if I can add it to the settings during the video. I don't think I have the button.
It's
But go
I
ahead
believe
and
it does.
you have over 200 subscribers now. You hit the 200 mark.
I'm trucking along.
Yep. All right. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, I should probably plug that one too, just because I get that question quite a bit. So give me a second. I will pull that one up. Oh, let's see here. Groups. What do you got going on for the rest of the day? What are we doing? We're gonna go do finances next, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't inputted my numbers yet, so I have that to do, and I have a shipment here that's going to go out today, my last one for the week, and it's Paperwork Friday for me. Paperwork Friday. What is this?
Thank
Cynthia?
you so much, Cynthia. That is amazing. Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know people could do that.
Yep.
Aw, so
Only
sweet.
the best.
So sweet.
That is very, very nice of you, and I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, so let's go pull our numbers for the Friday and get that settled up, and then I'm doing inventory for June. I gotta finish that up.
Paperwork Friday, guys. Do your paperwork once a week. Get that stuff done. Your receipts filed. Know your money. Know what's going on.
All right. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.